First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities looking for new money in the federal budget may be disappointed.
Instead of closing the socioeconomic gaps between First Nations and non-Indigenous Canadians, this budget is going to make things worse.
The Canadian government has tabled its first budget since Mark Carney became Prime Minister in March. Here's what you need to know.
This is a plan to build major infrastructure. This is a plan to build homes. This is a plan to build industries that will grow our economy and create lasting prosperity.
Indigenous Services Canada and Crown Indigenous Relations will face 2% cuts over the next 4 years. This amounts to about $2 billion in cuts by 2030 for Indigenous services, and about $277 million for Crown Indigenous Relations. When it comes to new funding, $2.3 billion over 3 years was announced for clean drinking water programs. There will also be $10.1 million over 3 years for consultations with Indigenous right holders on major projects being fast-tracked. And there's $1 billion over 4 years for an Arctic infrastructure fund for roads, airports, and seaports for military and civilian needs. But Indigenous leaders had been hoping for generational funding to close gaps in infrastructure and education.
And I think that Canada needs to do better, come up with a plan, close the $360 billion infrastructure gap.
It's really disheartening to not have an Indigenous section and then Inuit distinction and Inuit distinctions-based section within the federal budget.
But not everyone is upset about the budget.
It almost was made for us. And although our name is not in there, we know where we fit in those lines and even in between those lines.
The federal government says it will continue delivering legally or constitutionally required programs while maintaining a 2% savings target. Indigenous communities will also be eligible for the budget's big spending programs like the Build Canada Homes and Build Communities Strong Fund. However, these programs do not have specific Indigenous spending. For CBC Indigenous, I'm Joyce Beer Chief Morris.